Alright, now we're back to our regularly scheduled program with Talion having to conquer the regional Seregost, which means we have to hunt a lot of captains and decide which to recruit and which just kill.
You know, is it weird that I could honestly see there easily being a Lord of the Rings sitcom involving him and Celebrimbor?
Basically, that's basically their mechanic, their bantering. And again, the idea, it comes from a place of, of wanting to establish a way to, having a proper, friendly kind of behavior between the two. Because remember, they've been tangled by, circumstance, or at least that they've been claiming to be. It's strongly implied that Celebrimbor piloted some of the events, but Talion was just, the wrong person at the wrong time. But to be fair, over time they seem to have grown, a bit, more accustomed to each other.
I forget if I've said it before, but Celebrimbor's insertion into the canon, I'll give it credit. Like, in a lot of cases, it would feel very fanficky to go, oh no, actually, it was this character from this other piece of material who actually was responsible for the great villain of the franchise's rise to power. But
that's the thing, Jova. If you know anything about those, the role of Celebrimbor on the grand scheme of things is technically the same. What really changes is, his interaction. After he was tortured and killed by Sauron, that was it. He dead,
Oh, right.
Tease me. They say my teeth make my voice sound silly. With these teeth, they like to bite into man flesh.
I know that they gave him actually at least because of that.
I'm so sorry about your backstory, Rudolph. You won't be like all the other orcs, but you'll be more happy under our rule. So says Celebrimbor.
To a guy like this.
But yeah, no, yeah, I'll admit, again, while I do know of the books and have read them a bit, I'm much more familiar with, admittedly, the lore of,
I know that he shows up, if I recall correctly, in the Rings of Power series, but I still have to see it properly.
So what you're saying is that Celebrimbor was actually mentioned in the books?
He was a canon character all along, they just expanded more of his role to give him more of an excuse, but yes.
Yeah, because
he was essentially the one that gave to Sauron the idea of crafting the Rings of Power.
Because if I recall correctly, Celebrimbor wasn't really mentioned much in the movies.
No, because he's from the Second Age.
Well, it's like, well, it's also like, well, the movies pretty much just summarize it as, oh no, Sauron crafted this ring, essentially. Like, I don't think there's like any mention of the bit that Celebrimbor had to do with.
Again, it wasn't really too important, at that moment.
Well, again, in that case, kudos to the games for taking a plot point from the books and expanding on it.
Also, this guy is literally wearing man's skin on him.
Them by pounding in dung and soaking
You're a big boy, aren't you?
Or you.
And when I
yeah, I don't think I want you in my army.
I make you look good.
He looks very strong.
I mean, all the Olo guys, have the same physiology. Unlike the other orcs, they don't have too many differences probably for, rendering, there you go. For rendering things more easy.
And that guy over there looks like he is cosplaying as Kratos.
Well, a couple of you mooks have the same kind of, attire, so is that. It's only when they get promoted to captain that they get their personalized armor.
Oh, it's not just the armor, but also the skin tone, too.
This guy even has a pair of scissors on his side, too, because, again, his whole shtick is about working leather. Tanner, so to speak.
How talented of him.
I mean, it's artistry, I just wish it wasn't human skin, thank you.
So where did the tail bit come from then, if he fashioned it from a human?
It's part of the clothing, it's kind of like the same as a, pack. It's kind of similar to a Speedo, but wait, just not another deviant one. Oh, no, you don't.
Wow, the big tough guy gonna run away from the guy half his size.
It's more likely than you think. There we go.
It's kind of extra humiliating though when you think about it.
There we go, decapitated.
The sad thing is, to some, that's really just a scratch on the log in the grand scheme.
It depends. You haven't seen yet an example of that. Oh shit. All right. Recruiting just one was clearly just the starting. We need to, get more people onto our side. So let's check this guy out instead.
Nice design. So I'm curious. Do you usually choose recruits based off of who looks the coolest or not?
Well, to me, yes, it is a factor, but I also, take in consideration their level, their capabilities, an overall package, so to speak. If they're particularly unique, like the minstrel that we saw in part 2, yes, those are automatically a plus, But there are some orcs that are more, basic bitch in terms of design. In those cases, I need to consider if I really want them or not, or I want someone else. Again, the good thing is that the variety is so much that, I have, as they say in my country, the embarrassment of the choice.
I wonder which of us will kill you first.
Yeah, turns out it's me. Go on, Pedro.
Okay. So I discovered that Laura Fryer, for those who don't know Laura Fryer, she was part of the OG Xbox team from the early 2000s, as in the original Xbox console, not. And she now has a YouTube channel, and she's making gaming videos, from her actual proper perspective as an expert, manager who worked in various companies. She worked too. In fact, after leaving Xbox, she actually went to work at WB Games, for which she was studio support for this game.
Interesting.
Well, okay, actually, I'm looking it up again. Turns out it's actually not this one. It's the first one, Shadow of Mordor. But you get the point.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it'd been funny if you'd have said she went off to work with Activision, but then the thingy happened.
No.
Oh God, I remember. Sorry. Wasn't there like a similar deal where some
Obsidian,
developer? Yeah, Obsidian.
They worked for Bethesda for Fallout New Vegas. They were not part of them. They were just contracted for them. But they were kind of shunned afterward, even if they kind of wanted to have another go. And now both of them are working for Microsoft.
It's like two exes being reunited by a third wheel in a polygamous relationship.
She basically has a good amount of videos explaining a lot of problems.
Oh snap! He literally just dunked you.
He literally ambushed us. Go on, he's gonna take a while.
For example, she made a video about Redfall, and she says that if that game was being made during their time, like her time with her OG team, this wouldn't happen because because back in those days, and this is something that according to her changed shortly before she left, back then they would get everybody involved with Microsoft to give feedback on games and shit like that.
I can believe that. Bill Gates was very passionate about getting into the field of games back with the original Xbox.
Well, according to her, Bill Gates was very hands-off with what they were doing.
Oh yes, he was hands-off, but he was passionate about Microsoft getting into the gaming field. Like, a lot of people have pointed out, also, recall, he definitely made it a big deal by pretty much trying to get anyone who would want to get the first Xbox to be given from him. Okay, that was either the original Xbox or the Xbox 360.
Oh, fuck.
Wow, boy, it's a whole party here.
You're thinking of Bill Gates giving out the first copy of Halo free.
Okay. That was the Xbox 360 era. The point is, though, while he was hands-off, Bill Gates did want the Xbox to succeed, and thus, was a guy who... Let me put it like this. He wasn't letting them slouch on it.
But no, what's the interesting thing about the Xbox One and how a lot of people make fun of that name? She actually says that when they first announced the Xbox One, she was already at WB Games at the time, right? She said that she was flabbergasted, and she says, and I quote, "Didn't they do the kindergarten test?" Because apparently what they did back in the day when it comes to naming their products was they would do the kindergarten, which is like, okay, let's take a look at what possible names can be joked about that we shouldn't name it. So apparently they had a contingency for that specific thing, so that's kind of interesting.
You know what's funny? Oh, did he just get hit by his own
Yes,
mook there?
it's not a mook. The Graug works as an autonomous, beast. And if you saw
yeah.
correctly, also the arm of the Graug was clipping through the captain.
Yeah.
Gone.
She explains that the primary problem that happened is that Xbox's major problem is the lack of culture at that company. Because games like Redfall show that there's no communication, there's no organization there.
You know, it's funny. That kindergarten test reminds me of one of the rules from the evil overlord list, wherein I will hire a preteen secretary. If that preteen secretary can see any flaws in my plans, I won't do them.
She actually she also worked at Epic Games for a while. Well, okay, she worked at Epic Games after leaving a bit, but while she was at Microsoft, she was also helping out with the management of the original Gears of War trilogy. In fact, you can actually see a clip online that she even used in our videos where one of the people at Epic, even when they got an award for Gears of War, I think it was Gears of War 2, I think. Where he even thanked Laura Fryer right there on stage and everything, like saying like, "Oh, she's not here, but she should be here as well because she's awesome." So basically, she was very well beloved over there.
I definitely
and her experience allows her to talk with more authority than your typical YouTube person, right, when it comes to the gaming industry.
I'll say this. Funnily enough, Microsoft were definitely at their peaks when they... Okay, they were kind of on top of the 360 era, but the point is, like, well, they were more at their peaks when they had to fight to stay on top, or at least when it felt like they needed to fight for it. Like, yeah, the Xbox didn't have the most glowing debut that they had hoped for, but what it did have was a lot of great games pumped in by devs. And the Xbox 360, while that was a mess on the business side of things, thanks to stuff like the Red Ring of Death, devs were absolutely turning out hit after a hit when it came to first-party stuff. But of course, because of that, Microsoft did that classic thing where a company gets too big for their britches, and yeah, the Xbox One. What the heck?
Here's one.
What's going on?
Essentially, I forgot if I ever showcased one of these scenarios before. Sometimes a captain wants to execute another, and I can do whatever I want. I can stay there and watch. I can recruit the person who's about to execute him, but the advantage is that the person who's about to be executed is already in a broken state, so it's very easy to actually brainwash.
Interesting. So you can get a 2-for-1.
Potentially, if you are actually confident enough in your capabilities, you can do that. If I recall correctly, that's what I'm about to do. And if I recall correctly, one of these guards, yeah, it was one of the Sherman war chief who showed up here.
Boys dressed up like a gladiator.
How nice of war chiefs. Again, the intricacies of this scenario. Because I was trying to attack one of his bodyguards on a separate scenario, he can show up out of nowhere to tip the scales in their favor.
I will be your chosen.
Also, that's still not an orpha. Goodbye.
Thanks, Katana.
Here's something you might find interesting too. I don't know if you know about this game. She was also a vice president general manager for the Lord of the Rings War in the North. I don't know if you know this game.
I remember the name, but I forgot exactly. Is that an RTS, I think?
I do not know. It's a 2011 game for your PS3, but I'm sure it's...
No, it's not then. I'm confused with another game. Don't worry. Alright, it seems that whoever hit me do not want to execute me, so let's try to recruit this guy too. There we go. Thanks for showing up to the party. You saved me a lot of trouble.
Dandy.
Command me, Bright Lord.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
Also, let's save instead these guys. There we go.
I'm back in the fight.
Forgot if I think I did mention, but just to mention, if the enemy plants a banner, all the orcs in the area will have attacks that are unblockable, and as such, it's your priority then to destroy it. One single arrow is sufficient enough to do the trick.
Interesting. One of those.
Alright, next target.
Baga.
Yes. Sorry,
Baga.
Blitz.
Baka, right?
It's like that insult that the main villain of Medieval does at the end when Sir Fortescue kills his lieutenant. He's like, Baga.
I would love to hear examples of I'd love to hear examples of tsundere that aren't just it being a code word for dick, male or female.
Tsundere, sure. This guy is a bit low level, but I think he should be fine. Oh, but because he's enraged, I think I'm not able to include him. It's been a bit since I recorded this, so I forgot exactly how each scenario actually go.
You can't bury me, man swine. I've still got a few tricks.
Who said anything about burying you?
Oh, piece of shit. Essentially, Tricky Escape allows the guys while they're about to die to actually escape completely the fight.
Huh.
In some scenarios, they can actually also gain levels because of that. But since I'm actually someone who doesn't forget these kind of things, I tracked him down.
Oh, you can track them.
Well, after each scenario, you can pinpoint potentially the position of each of the captains, depending on where they are, and get back to them. They just don't disappear completely.
Interesting. Something like Tricky Escape feels like what a protagonist in a game would do when they're trying to run away from a random battle. So in this case, we are the mob boss who is way too powerful for them.
So you found me. Now, do you think you've got what it takes to finish the job?
I mean, if you can stand still, I'll gladly.
So what can trigger Tricky Escape, or is it legit just...
It's a natural... It's basically one of the perks that the captain can have potentially of their own. Again, like I said, because of the randomized nature of the Nemesis system, you technically take a base orc, you apply the coat of paint that is the appearance, and then each of the perks. There you go. Context. If I have the entire meter full and I do one of the execution, Talion will be very brutal in doing that. So there's also a better chance for you to decapitate the enemy as a result.
And decapitations are usually the best way to keep these guys down, I would guess.
At least the most secure for what you know. The point is, again, you take the base stuff and you just add the perk to that. It's simple on paper, and again, not being a programmer, I have no idea what kind of technique the team used to make sure that it is efficient without bugging out, because this feels the prime material of something that could create abominations that would be unrecognizable in face and behavior, and yet it works.
It does.
That's
That's
the fascinating thing. The fact that it works. It's kind of like the two separate AIs for the xenomorph in Alien Isolation. It's a system that, by all accounts, it feels like it should not work, but it does. It's kind of amazing.
I think what helps is like, for as complex as the system is in execution, it's relatively simple enough in theory, which I think helps make it flow more fluidly in the sense where, yeah, you do have a base, then assuming that they program in an algorithm, they multiply off of that base, sort of like a multiplication tree going in different directions or locations for each way, and then constantly multiplying and spreading and spreading and spreading from each one.
And like I said, these require a monumental work for different components, you know. The people who want to make sure that the model is programmed correctly, including the details, coloring, texturing, detailing, because this is not a cheap, you know, a simple art style. This goes for a slight photorealism, you know. So it's not exactly something that you do lightly. Then there's the voice acting. You have to make sure that there are all the proper voice lines, which, as I mentioned, there's like a jillion of them, and that are fitting with the proper situation. You know?
That is definitely amazing how much dialogue they recorded for that.
I cannot even begin to imagine how the coding of this is. So,
like, you know what'd be
Alright.
funny is if the coding is legit just that simple, what took them the most time was recording all of the dialogue for it.
like I said, this scenario I already showcased before. I just recruited off screen this guy to as bait.
Come here, you. Or are you gonna play hard to get?
You're not swift enough, intruder.
Na boo boo?
Basically, essentially, it's a provocation of, you know, trying to lure the other captain into an ambush. But since the captain that I use is one of my followers, I don't have to worry about him. I can focus instead of this guy. Like I said, what you're essentially seeing are only essentially the there you go, the encounters that I've chosen to showcase. There's like a lot of stuff that you're not seeing in the meantime of me just selecting what could be the best and recording for like 3-4 hours straight just to see what I can take from that.
I love that.
It's a blast.
I love that quote, purified. It implies that you purified that orc by killing him.
Like I said, I unfortunately didn't show much, but like I said, if you buy the right perk, you can do the Sub-Zero thing of completely shattering the ice enemy. I probably should have showed this at some point.
A capable lot of orcs hold this place, but I'm stuck with you maggots. Hold here, let no one through.
Props for honesty.
They are in our way. Therefore, they must die.
Simple.
Fuck.
I can hear your heart beating, and it's driving me crazy.
Alright then.
Well, that puts a wrench in our plans.
I forgot which one of these two I will do first. Probably the Collector. Introducing the Collector.
Okay. What does he collect?
I'm not sure I want to know. Probably body parts.
Play sharp. Incredible strength in those arms. Such power and grace
Are you coming on to
I
me?
pride myself on being able to spot those.
Sorry, mate, you're not really my type.
He literally said I'm a bit of a collector myself.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want you in my army or not.
Again, if we ever do get a remake of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, please instill all this character for the orcs. It is wonderful.
Again, it's more of a case where, you know, they are allowed to do this kind of thing because they're playing fast and loose with the canon. But for an actual adaptation, I'd rather just stick to what Tolkien wrote for them. I mean, the Jackson movie got that right for the most part. I just don't want them to, you know, flanderize them when it comes to adapting. If they have to do a work that, you know, borders behind the, you know, expanded onto the canon, sure, I guess.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, I wouldn't say I do it to the degree where the characterization of the orcs takes away from characterization of the actual main characters. Just like, you know, if they can, go ahead and fit it in.
Oh, fuck.
Another tricky escape.
And he got and he got a new title. It became the Gutless.
That's a demotion, right?
Well, not necessary. It's just a new title because you know it's gonna cover. So, it's time to. Oh, hold on. Oh, this.
Any other orc would have died.
Oh,
I survived.
He's cheated death and he's legendary.
And he's now
My
more
brothers put me
machine
back
than
together,
orc.
stronger than ever.
Huh.
This is bad because this is one of the hardest random encounters you can actually get. One of the rarest to loot.
Shame we can't recruit him.
Unfortunately, no. Because I killed this guy in the meantime, but again, he came back like this, and it's not pretty. He has multiple prosthetic stuff, and in being legendary grade, he's actually far stronger than me. So I was even contemplating to go away or not, but I decided to wing it and give it a try.
So you can legit have some of your victims come back as pretty much the Terminator.
Kinda. But like I said, it's technically rare, so it's not something that that can happen that regularly.
Oh, actually we can.
No.
Well, dang.
I was contemplating shaming, but no, we're ending this now.
Oh, because if you shame him, then he gets away, I guess.
Yeah, and truly, it would be weaker, so it will be easier to kill. But I don't want to leave any chances.
I'm curious, can he even come back from this death too?
Potentially, again, due to how the system is randomized,
Wow, imagine him coming back somehow even tougher than that.
Fucking spiders.
Really, my dudes? Isn't it too cold for you here?
Alright, let's see if we can make it.
You cleave my flesh, and it's replaced by metal. You purify me.
You're welcome.
No thanks.
Wow, we actually stabbed right through his metal. Oh, there goes more of your flesh.
Thankfully, it did not came back despite everything, so we had the blue close for the machine. But let me just say back what I was saying. Like I said, I don't forget, if a guy gets away, and now you're about to get a taste of just how bad I can be.
I don't know what you think you're playing at, but you better let me go. Why do you globs always have to fall out of line? When that happens, I'm the one who has to kill you. And that's a lot of bloody work.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Oh, an orc that hates blood? Now there's a first.
Well, it's more of an insult rather than, an adjective. But first, let's recruit this guy. Really did nothing wrong as far as I'm concerned. So
I will see your commands through.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't even need the brainwashing to recruit these guys, given that, well...
it's more of a shrug than anything. Ow. But I need to finish instead with this guy, since he got away first. Ow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's another thing. In order to give a bit more, immersion, when the other guy actually gives you that much of a strength, the entire screen becomes blurry because, your senses have been,
Stand a chance against me. I've forgotten more tricks than you'll ever learn. Sure, I regret not putting time into other pursuits, but at least I'll get to put you down.
Well, thank you for your honesty, sir.
You're a funny guy. Maybe I shouldn't kill you. Just maybe. No, I'm just gonna instead shame him.
Oh ho ho!
And not on the kind way. Because I'm not done.
Really? But I'm not done yet.
Oh.
Skark.
Mind you, it's not the worst that it can get. We will see in a later part how it can be, but let it be an appetizer of what it can be.
No! You saved me! Me! I hate being shamed! The other Uruks won't stop making fun of me! Why didn't you just kill me instead? Oh, I hate you!
Let it be a taste. Sometimes, leave it to the game to sometimes make the orcs that you shame very, very sympathetic figures that make you question what you're doing.
Yeah, I was about to question if, shaming an orc legit makes them an outcast.
Again, well, that's one outcome, but again, all in due time. For the time being, sure, let's kill him instead. Again, we will have other occasions. Let it be this way, Jovan. If the recruiting is already catching on his own being basically brainwashing, the uncontrolled shaming is far, far worse.
Oh,
But
don't.
anyway, instead on to arena fights, if I recall correctly, in order to showcase, to try to infiltrate people into
You won't be
positions
getting
of
past
power.
me.
My devotion to the Dark Lord will always grant me victory.
I'll flay you alive.
Alright, my guy is technically a bit weaker, but being an auto guy is naturally stronger, and has a bunch of people, following him. So even against a defender, he technically should be fine. I forgot if he manages to win or not.
That guy does seem to be the MVP of this part so far, so it'd be a shame if he does die.
Even as a flamethrower, you can see strapped on his back, but I don't think he actually uses it in this fight.
Huh, does he ever use it, like, at all, or is it just for show?
Well, it can be used, yes. If you actually watch the gameplay presentation at the end, there was a good showcase of that. Essentially, it's a prerogative of the auto guy. It's essentially shaped like a cannon with a mouth of a dragon, and yes, it spits fire. They can actually use it properly to create the same effect that would be being invested by the fires of a wyvern. One of the problems of these potential fights is that you're at the whims of the AI, so sometimes maybe the orc that you're rooting for might not actually, take advantage of a move and just stand there bumbling, which in this case has been the downfall of my guy. Again, the good news is that we have a fresh recruit here.
Isn't that nice? If you win a match, your reward is servitude to a new cause.
Again, Bruce actively encouraged us to do it, so the game actually, tells you it's the better thing to do.
I mean, to be fair, orcs are nasty pieces of work too, so...
And
as
again,
well haven't...
But think of it with the Klingon logic, if someone is strong enough to kill another, well, that means it's perfect for the job that you wanted them to do.
Hence the Klingon promotion.
Mm-hmm. I'm also showcasing something in a bit. You have some of these particular perks that you can get through the in-game money that you have. If you don't actually level up, you can conserve enough to actually do this thing, which you can use to do stuff like leveling the orc up or giving him a proper trait. I will elaborate more later because it's connected to something that I've yet to mention. This guy is called the Spiderhawk, and he loves to be painted in yellow. No idea why. Just a thing.
Dude looks like he wants to sign up for Haze or something.
Maybe he wants to cosplay as a bee. I don't know.
Maybe. It's just weird. The name Spiderhawk, like, would suggest he wants to look more like
By all laws of aviation, an orc should not be able to fly.
Oh god, flying orcs, that would be a sight.
Well, when it comes to Warhammer, the best that you get is that the idea of, the equivalent of a catapult for the goblins is for them to actually catapult other goblins with Leonardo da Vinci styled, wings, with wings and leather, and hope that it works for the best. Spoilers, it doesn't. Again, if you want one of the evil themed races in Warhammer Fantasy with actual good technology that works, go with the Skavens. Anyway,
have I mentioned have I mentioned before in other parts about how I'm surprised that there haven't been any Elseworld Lord of the Rings like comics or anything?
I don't remember, but go on.
Look at those poor beasts.
Yeah, there could be all sorts, like I don't know, if Frodo was killed, or
I can tell you that during in essentially the equivalent of a Q&A session, during the last years of his life, Tolkien did respond to a couple of letters, and he collected them in a book, but I think it's actually called Letters from Tolkien, which he answered to some kind of question, and some of those offer particular scenarios, like what if Gandalf actually did took the ring? What would have happened? And Tolkien's answer was not very pretty. He essentially mentioned that the world would be just like with Sauron, but bathed in light instead of darkness. So think of it, kind of like, the
Shadowbringers?
Kinda, yes, kind of like that, a tyrannical ruling that is, done in the name of righteousness. Sorry, I will skip it for you. Anyway, like I said, some of these duels, you don't necessarily have to recruit someone else, but instead to make your guy level up in the easiest way possible.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm taking this for a ride, don't worry. Oh.
I'm going to grind you and your beastie into mush. That'll fix you for good. And I'll finally get a decent meal.
I'm sorry for you, but nothing I can do about it, unless, unless I can end your life. Oh, fuck's sake.
He just took your ride.
I asked you nicely. If I could end your life.
I forgot if I recorded him or not. I don't think so. Yeah, you crash my party, you get shamed.
Is he the guy who
Fuck off.
Is he related to the guy who asked why can't we have some meat or something?
To eat. No, but the point is roughly the same. Oh.
This orc endeavors to trap us. Let us reward his cunning.
No, not really, Celebrimbor. Let me just do this right now.
And you never have it. Last time you got lucky. It won't go like last time. You won't shame me again. This time, I'll show you what an Uruk does when you back him into a corner.
Uh-huh.
Think you gave him enough?
No, he's still not dead.
Resilient, aren't they?
Well, he's leveled down, so... Let's do some more.
How many
Basically.
times can you shame an orc?
Much as I want.
Does it get to a point where they legit commit suicide out of the grief?
You will have to wait and see.
Oh boy.
Let me tell you, you're in for surprises, so I will tell you that. One of the quest lines is dedicated entirely to that.
Oh boy.
Enough of your tricks. Enough of this shame. It hurts. It hurts in the head. I'll split yours open for this.
You know what? You might have a point, but still. Ow. Yeah, I have to also watch out for the cargoes, unfortunately. Come on.
You know, I almost would have thought that they would have put multiple hand marks in different places, but I'm guessing the one that
It's
you
just
leave...
one that progressively gets worse.
Yeah.
Shame. Enough of your tricks. Of your curse. I'll cut you up for this. I'll cut you up good for this.
Alright, I think that's the case because, since they become too weak at some point, it takes very little to actually kill them.
And you literally set them on fire, too, for good measure. Jesus.
So, let's do it.
Of all the rotten luck.
Well, at least you don't have to suffer anymore. Shank.
God, I wonder if shamed enemies will be extra vengeful if they come back from the dead.
Again, well, okay, for that not really, because it depends on the circumstances, but again, you'll have to wait for the time being. Oh, hello.
Who's this
for the
kiss
time-
fan?
Kinda. For the time being, we're just recruiting for our assault. Remember, we're all doing this just to recruit people for assaulting the fortress. But otherwise, you know, the world is your oyster to model as you see fit.
Pretty much.
But you have a point. I like this guy. I think I want to actually get him just for the design alone. Like I said, though, the ones that possess some kind of magic capabilities are a bit tougher to actually get recruited. A lot of them can come up with the Iron Will trait, unfortunately. So you have to work with what you have. But I think I should be able to get him. No. There we go.
And you probably got off a lot better than most people would.
What did he say then? I'm trying to burn us all. He's trying to burn us all.
No, don't worry. I still have also to take care of the war chiefs. I forgot if I want to assault this fortress with them inside or not. But we're not far away from doing our conquest.
Oh, that party got a little heated.
Yeah, we just moved on. So let's have a bit of arena, next more arena fights.
I'll provide all the sport you need, and then some.
We see if you can give me challenge.
Just try me.
It's funny, my guy is an orc guy with a bunch of orc as bodyguard, while the opponent is an orc with a bunch of all guys as bodyguards. I think someone got cross-eyed with making up silence.
I've forgotten if we've come across, you know, when a boss orc comes up and they chant his name in the music. Yeah. I'm surprised. I don't know if we've got one yet where it sounds like they'll be chanting "fuck" or something.
It can happen, you know, but not literally for the name, but for something like "truck" or something, maybe some similar. There we go. That's again, like I said, that's the preferred method of the Yolo guy to kill their victim, ripping their heads out.
Rip and tear until it's done.
Basically. Truth and effective, I guess.
Doom guy in the Lord of the Rings verse.
I mean, that's a bit OP considering technology and everything.
But would it stand up against Sauron's magic well?
Jova, the BFG is just that better. Yes.
Probably, yeah.
This war chief.
Alright, time to actually, you know, rat out one of the war chiefs.
Hey, speaking of which, how's our good old friend Ratbag doing, I wonder?
He's still fine. Again, like I said, we'll get his quest line soon enough, don't worry. I saved it for later for a specific reason.
It is interesting how they show him off like that, though. I guess it's to get the player intrigued and want to figure out what's the dealio with him.
Yeah, but like I said, I can start his quest line immediately as soon as he shows up. I just decided personally to reserve it for later.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
It's also more of a case where, like I said, the game technically opens up enough, you know, that you get the occasion of, you know, having these different quests, like including the ones going to assault the fortresses and conquering them, where they technically are mandatory, but they get unlocked bit by bit, you know, and depending on what you do, you can decide to tackle them in the order you prefer. So, there is a degree of freedom that you can get. Alright, I'm supposed to dominate these particular war chiefs minions, so let's get them done. Again, the good news is that even on Fortress, the roofs are your best friends. The bad news is that as long as it's in the hand of the enemy, you can get spotted still very easily. So you still have to watch out what you're doing. For a mission like this, you know, it's inevitable for me to get spotted, unfortunately.
Well, in that case, you gotta do what you gotta do. At this point, these guys are the best at what they do.
They're the best. There you go, 2 out of 4.
I'll be honest to you, the tune you sung, that just sounds like the song. It sounds like a bit of the tune to Puma, man.
Not the same, but it's a running gag from Fadus that he has to mention something of a particular team that sucks. Flies a camel run. Yeah. I have really no excuse for the circumstances that movie was made.
How did that director go from having Ennio Morricone as a composer to that?
I don't know. I wouldn't even qualify it as a Casio keyboard for a tune. It's beyond that. It's just that awful sounding.
It's like the only instrument as part of that music that wasn't synth was the violins and string instruments. That's it.
There we go. I just need to activate them, and if I recall correctly, he should show up. And the entire reason why I had to rank out this war chief is because he has a bunch of bodyguards, but they just so happen to work for me.
Oopsie!
Hey, I wanted to hear the rest of that joke.
And you see, the guy is trying to go for the 9-inch 9 arrow for the golf club. See, that's the thing. They made such a big deal about the joke about the Japanese golf player, but I never know if it's an actual joke or not.
I don't really know either. I thought you were gonna say something. And so then I said, that's not a ginormous orc. Oh, it is actually a ginormous orc. Shit.
I need to give more context also on that guy that showed up just now, the Endless. On screen, because again, there's something that I did not show because otherwise the part will really be too long, you know. I kind of had a problem being killed repeatedly by that guy, and as such he gained reputation, became legendary, and is sort of a personal nemesis. And he showed up at the worst possible moment.
So somehow you'll have to make like a movie protagonist and turn the tables as you finally get rid of
more character powers, yes.
That or have the final climax advantage on your side, wherein in your final encounter with your nemesis, you finally work out your way to defeat him and do it in stunning fashion.
I thought you were gonna say make like a movie protagonist and die. I was like, what movies have you been watching lately, Jonah?
The true way of mentioning is, the tried and true technique inherited from generation to generation of the Joestar, running away.
Of course.
Yeah, how many movies are there where the advertisements and everything led you to believing that this person was going to be the main character, but then like 10 minutes in, they get killed off, and then you get another guy.
That movie with I think
the other guys.
There's this movie with, I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
It's called Terminator Dark Fate.
Oh god damn, he's right.
You have to remind me of that.
To be fair, how much of a marketing did push for John Connor? Well, hold on.
Honestly,
none. Because now it's time to actually showcase me assaulting. So basically, my assault of the fortress would be with 2 war chief active and 2 places vacant.
I like the posing that they do on these thrones with the models.
Again, it's visual representation of what you're supposed to do, yeah.
Oh.
Alright, here we go.
You gotta have a big and fancy throne to show your influence.
Put his head in it when we killed him.
If you think we'll fall
Golden
as
back.
easily as the maggots at Dalskurum?
Goldfinger's
You're a bigger
cousin.
fool than you look. Our dedication to the Dark Lord is unfaltering. He gives us more than enough strength to crush your army of weaklings. You will provide a break from the tedium of counting coins.
How lovely.
And when the battle is over, we will begin counting the hands and heads we've lopped off.
Well, the guy has a penchant for speeches.
Never been much for plunder myself. I'm more for hacking up maggots who won't shut their yap.
Alright, get ready.
Charge!
Basically. Again, I genuinely like how they literally hype you up for the moment. Like they actually know how to build the scene. Go on, Pedro.
Also, Glims, it's not a movie, but it's a TV series, the Kevin Smith He-Man show.
Oh,
Okay,
God,
to be fair, that
hurts.
apparently happened just for the first part, and you know they actually rectified that. And apparently, by the time we're recording this, there's a follow-up that seems to be squarely focused, you know, on He-Man. So there's
I'll
that.
admit, I'm just...
But did they kill him, though?
No, he comes back halfway through.
Okay. They did kill him, but he comes back. I mean, yeah, apparently there was
It
more...
was just the first impression that he was given.
Fault. Well, we'll have his heart for supper. Pile on it. Steady that. You're gonna die here. Make 'em. Must die. Came from nowhere. It's with the magic. I hear the elves do that. Die already. Fight for me! Forward, to the square! Now you die! Turn it up! Oh, no! Keep going to the training grounds. Hit him now. Let's go. They're attacking the training ground. We need to press on to the courtyard. I'll bury you, Adam boy. You're dead. Never take a soldier. So, you've got your foot in the door, so to speak. Good. You're too far in to turn back now. We're gonna have a merry time, tearing you all apart. Oh, yes, it hurts! You've gotten
further than I expected. I've clearly underestimated you. I should open you up and see what makes you so special.
Tremble before me! Serve the Bright Lord! Yell, got anyone you want! I'm ready to spill some guts! Get him! Darkness concealed! You are mine! You will join me! I will serve you! You have nothing to fear! On the back!
Get to the Overlord. We the two spies planted inside that the wood.
Handy. Very handy.
You sully the sacred fortress with your presence. The Dark Lord will be pleased when I give him your head.
You and the Dark Lord are about to be very disappointed.
Them's fighting words.
So, you have come to me at last.
Thankfully, no. Well, while the betrayal does happen, these two alone are not enough to actually, get to him. So I need to play my part, especially because this Overlord is legendary ranked.
I'm guessing when they're legendary ranked, you definitely cannot.
Oh no, I can. It's just that they're more strong. They have more health, defense and attack power. Essentially, their stats are jacked up. Not really.
I have to give Orcs credit. They're pretty brave to be going up against pretty much Lord of the Rings equivalent to the Borg if it were a good guy when you think about it. A force that is constantly taking up their soldiers bit by bit, and for all they know, could probably control them if it really wanted to, story-wise speaking.
It's a bit of a combination of things. It's more of a thing that some of them want to defend their honor, some of them legitimately are loyal to Sauron and his cause. Others just think that they can just potentially repel the invader and they have what it takes.
And then there's the Bard.
I mean, there are also the guys who are just drunk as shit.
Oh yeah, that would be that would actually be a spin-off of that's one story I'd love to see. Saruman taking over the world, but and it just shows the aftermath of Sauron just killing him because I'm not showing my rule.
You saying, Tia?
But I can also recruit the Overlord if I choose for this case.
He sure looks burnt enough already as it is. Maybe he might want to throw it in the towel.
I serve you, Bright Lord.
And if I do, the fight is automatically over.
Because he basically tells everyone, alright, settle down, we're working for this guy now.
Basically, it's kind of the equivalent of a scout rush in Valkyria Chronicles.
Nice.
The end is within our grasp.
Sir, what are you doing?
Lord, our strength. We have taught him the folly.
I am giving you the rousing speech.
No, I meant the guy who took over, sir. Why are you telling us stop fighting? These are the enemy.
No. We work for him now. He offered a better rate.
Sorry, Seregost is mine, bitch.
Oh, yeah.
And if I
and
want
then he
to
gets
have...
killed mid-speech.
No, don't worry. Which also means I have technically 1 or 2 regions remaining. And if I want in for extra irony, I can do exactly what you're thinking about. I can appoint as the new overlord the overlord that I just recruited.
Huh.
So,
Don't worry, if you work for me, you can keep your castle.
I forgot what specific media has the whole, under new management meme that is basically the same thing.
Oh my god, you rescued us! We're free! Actually, I'd say you're more under new management.
It's not the one that I was thinking about, but it works just enough. Anyway, tune in for the next part, where we progress with the quest line of the Spirit of Karnan. So see you for that.
See ya.
Yeah.
Yeah.